People who knew seriously rich people, what were they like? I went to a very nice private college prep school that put my parents in debt. We are upper middle class, but I was easily the poorest kid in my class. The ones whose parents earned it were very nice people. The ones who came from generational wealth were always assholes to me. There were genuinely no exceptions to this rule. I met a billionaire that loved carpentry and the Old West, so he built himself an entire western town in the middle of nowhere, northern Arizona, complete with a saloon, jail, general store, and several houses, and would throw parties for him and his friends. It was a street with 6 or 7 buildings on both sides. I know nothing else about this guy. Happened as a kid. After writing this, I'm going to ask my stepmom if she remembers him. Lol. People think money makes people assholes, but it just gives them the power to be who they really are. Poor people can be assholes too, they just don't have the power to be. There are good, decent people of every levels of wealth. I think the combination of their genetics, experiences, how they were raised, etc. all play a factor into becoming the person they become. Sometimes people learn and change their ways. Sometimes good people become bad once their faith in humanity breaks. We just never know. An old college friend of my dad ended up becoming a multi-millionaire. We visited his house for New Year's and it was a literal mansion. His house was literally big enough I got lost wandering around it. He had an original painting up in the entryway of his home that was made by an artist who had a painting in the Sistine Chapel near Michelangelo's. When we were all admiring the painting, he looked at me and said, "Go ahead and touch it. When else do you get the opportunity to do that?" It was really surreal getting to poke a painting that was likely worth more money than I will ever make in my lifetime. I grew up around quite a few. The son of Nvidia's CEO was a childhood friend, also the families of quite a few early employees of modern-day tech giants. They were pretty normal, honestly. Didn't dress or act any different than an average middle-class person. Drove unflashy, sensible vehicles. But then you see their house, mansion, estate and neighborhood and it really sinks in that they live in an entirely different world. Jack Nicholson's lawyer. You passed the tennis courts on the drive up to the house after entering the gate. He was on his third wife in her 30s and had a young child with her. He was in his 70s. My mother's childhood friend married a multi-billionaire. Every time we met him he seemed really ordinary and genuine. He had inherited the money and spent his days doing whatever the fuck he wanted. He was into trains as a hobby and had two himself that he would drive around on the 200 miles of private track he owned. So, maybe he was a bit different to the rest of us. The woman who comes to mind lived in Florida and my grandfather was friends with her. She was about 75-80 at the time. She was afraid of so much, thunderstorms and much more. I felt so bad for her. All that wealth to enjoy life on a large scale but too afraid to live life on a large scale. She was so sweet too. My wife has a cousin who married a billionaire. They came to our wedding and we see them and their kids occasionally. Nice people, easy to hang out with, very low-key most of the time. Incredibly nice, very soft-spoken, love animals and often hold charity events at their property. Have like 16 ex-racehorses, just living the life of Riley because he couldn't stand knowing what was going to happen to the truckload. There were 2 more but they were retrained and went to new homes. Just pretty much the nicest person you've ever met. I know, it's revolting. I adore them and I'm so lucky to call him my friend. I know a family who is not merely rich. At one of their homes, they have their own private 9-hole golf course. They are rich. They're fantastic people. They will literally wait on you while you're in their home. They don't dress to impress. They ask questions about you and your family. When it's time to leave, they walk you to your car. You leave with a bottle of water and they make sure you know how to get back to town. This house is remote. They support charitable causes with serious money. Have you heard of Dairy Queen? It's a franchised ice cream shop in the Midwest. They have a Blizzard soft serve with mix-ins, and I work for the family that patented it. He's since passed away but she's still kicking it, great sense of humor and kind. She also has no clue how wealthy she is. Lovely lady though. They have a Dairy Queen set up in their basement. Wary, paranoid about kidnapping or being taken advantage of. We were in our 20s at the time. She told me that inheritance passed only to grandchildren, not children, in order to reduce the chances of being killed by your kids for the money. Not exactly a happy family. OTOH, being ruling class, was absolutely central to her identity. It wasn't primarily about having money but about being in a powerful family. Apathetic. Their kids were spoiled and they would buy them pets and clothes and food and golf lessons in hopes that it would awaken some sort of passion or drive in them, and it never did. Personally, went to a very wealthy private school. My family was upper middle but never felt any animosity. The ultra-wealthy parents, which I discovered in retrospect, never treated anyone differently. It's also wild how little I appreciated the gulf in Holmes' lifestyle and situation. We really didn't get it And looking back, I can't believe how privileged I was.